most amazing, beautiful, sexy, smart, intelligent woman I ever met in my life.
It was like one small, tiny, itsy-bitsy incident with Ra and one of Angie's friends, but it was nothing.
It's all the whole Remy and Pap situation. None of it was true.
I don't have nothing to do with that. Okay? Yeah, I have been open in all my relationships that I've had. All of them. I mean, I've had 4 boyfriends.
We need to discuss Papoose and Remy Ma because Papoose is currently holding this man captive. And Papoose is essentially begging for a divorce, but Remy is refusing to let him go. This is about more than love, let's face it, but things are getting so bad that Claressa Shields is ready to step in and give her some advice. There are rumors circulating that Pap could be, in fact, the same Pap who had held Remy captive for years, protected her reputation, and was the perfect example of a devoted spouse while searching for the alimony money. Why is the captain still acting as if she is hers when he has already replaced her with 2 younger women, and Pat is out here making friends and easily securing her bag? That's the exact reason. Claressa Shields' most recent Instagram birthday photo generated a lot of conversation. Claressa has made public declarations of her love and support for Pat. To King Pap, happy birthday. I am so grateful for your life, music, passion, and wisdom. You are truly one of a kind. May you always be richly blessed by God. Since today is the day you receive all of your birthday punches, Poppy, more years and even faster hands are in order. Oh, it's Poppy now. She also gave him the love you too. I'm not sure what else she could have said to directly target Remy. But it was a warning because Remy has been putting off this divorce for months. But now that Pap is drawing interest from other women, she can't let go. Let's talk about why this is more important than a straightforward divide. Even while the block captain initially clarified that Remy had moved on and didn't mind appearing in public, she's now becoming because Papoose put everything on hold for Remy, who kept her incarcerated and made sure she had a decent job waiting for her upon her release. The financial situation is much more difficult. But now that she's out here getting her paychecks, does she really want to sign those forms knowing that Pap might come for a chunk of the alimony? Because, let's be honest, Remy's finances will suffer if Pap files for spousal support. And Claressa Shields isn't simply observing from a distance. She is prepared to help if necessary. Remy might have to face Claressa first if she thinks she can entertain other men while maintaining a ping limbo. Now, the true query is whether Remy is holding out because is she merely attempting to protect her riches, or does she still have feelings for Pap? In any event, women who truly care about Pap are showing him affection. And Remy might be coming to terms with her treachery. Since the block captain isn't even glancing at Remy, let's not even talk about his vulnerable position. Claressa Shields is risking her heart out here. Pap is still legally bound to a marriage he doesn't really desire, not because he hasn't attempted to leave, but rather because Remy Ma continually brings up the divorce papers as if they were the only food on the planet. According to rumors, Remy has been turning down Pap's divorce request for months or maybe years. Furthermore, since this isn't just speculation, we shouldn't pretend that it's all fresh. Remember when Remy went crazy and showed those texts between Claressa and Pap? Claressa was clearly agitated about the whole situation, and the tea was burning. She didn't hold back either. She informed him that he, not she, still legally married, saying, if you can't at least sleep with me on the phone or be with me in person, then you are the one who is married. It shouldn't be a big deal to let me know that you made it home safely. Now tell me that doesn't sound like a woman who's fed up? Sis was being honest when she stated, I want to be with my boyfriend, but I'm tired. Remy wasn't done yet, but she felt like the side dish instead of the main entree. And she even claimed to have audio recordings of Papa getting and accusing him of threatening to get the police to arrest her. Papa would not overlook that, of course. But what was even more startling was when how you continue is the true question. Let's not seem as though we were unaware of Remy's actions around Christmas 2023. she was made fun of by Easy the Block Captain and made no effort to conceal it. She basically declared her love for him during that rap battle, and she gave it her all. The only reason for Remy's behavior is on. It makes sense to have Pap around while publicly announcing that you're in love with someone else, especially because the block commander has already replaced her with 2 younger women. If it's that easy, why does she still cling to Pap like a lifeline? It's not about it's important to have control over love.
I'm only gonna address this shit one time. Since y'all wanna be on the front lines. Hey, yo, Remy, don't you love me? See right there, that's your punchline.
On Valentine's Day, Papoose and Wilder Claressa Shields are out here seeking important couple goals, such as the kind of love that makes people wonder how locked in their relationships are and look down on them. Prepare yourself for even more mayhem if you thought it was already chaotic. Destroyed everything that these two had done. While they were on their romantic Hawaiian vacation, holding hands and sipping pina coladas, Pap was attending to business and Claressa was attending to hearts. In Hawaii, Pap launched the first Feel Free to Discuss Mr. Pap Now. This year, we set new marks, and the show was fantastic with lots of celebrities in attendance. Fest because, as you are all well aware, even when he is on vacation, he is constantly complaining about his luggage. He revealed the specifics of what transpired on Threads rather than keeping it a secret. It was a little corny, but she was securing their love while he was out there securing his money. And he was making boss moves. Claressa posted the nicest little video of herself singing to him on the beach, delivering the famous line, "Just the two of us, we can make it if we try." You could sense the love and the true pure spirit. And you knew that critics were observing Claressa and Pap as they loved their passion. We labeled those who still refuse to give up that last name haters.
We can make it if we try.
But wait, this story just took a whole new turn because in Hawaii, there was supposed to be an even more important event happening at the same time that Papoose and Claressa Shields were out here enjoying their most romantic tropical romance. According to rumors, Pap had been planning this trip for a while, and it was more about making stuff than it was about unwinding. It's what you heard officially. Pop the question to Claressa on Valentine's Day. With his favorite person in front of him, Hawaii, the sea wind, and the stunning sunset. Pap reportedly wanted to finalize his divorce from Remy Ma before this trip. Was the ring shining in the moonlight visible to you? It would have been a special occasion, but guess who stepped in to spoil it all? Miss Remy Maista. It's true that she didn't just decide to break up with Papa. Instead of letting go and moving on, she seemed to have been putting off getting a divorce as if her life depended on it. When things aren't going as planned, why is this happening? She acknowledged that it could have been a mistake to let Pap leave. And it doesn't help that she's been seeing Pap provide Claressa with the same amount of love and support that she once received, which is clearly having a significant impact on her. Remy used to have Pap as her best friend, but now that she's dating Easy, the block captain, she wants to be tough. Do you recall Claressa's entrance into the boxing ring during Pap's performance for her? Seeing him arrive was a declaration of a completely new level of love and dedication, not just support, to protect her name and make sure that no one forgets who she was. He is now providing Claressa the same energy that he provided her when she was confined, wandering about in search of another woman. Oh, that made Remy feel something.
I'm a trained killer. Really, like, fuck boxer. I'm a trained killer. So it'd be like, they be talking about this girl, and it's like, I don't do no 30-second fights. 30 seconds? I don't wear your ass out. Listen, you give me 3 minutes with any of them girls, it's gonna be bad. 2 minutes is gonna be bad. That's why I be like, what's it?
Champ, y'all see what's going on? It's about to get ugly.
This goes beyond a tense relationship or the bitterness of an ex. so let's have a real discussion about it. Remy's hesitation to sign. The divorce papers is said to be driven more by financial considerations than by emotion, because it seems to be sending the message. What are you afraid of? Feelings. Since, let's face it, Pap was the one keeping
Sexy, smart, intelligent woman I ever met in my life. I love you more than anything in the world, as you know.
You know if I'll marry you again?
What I want to say is, will you marry me again?
time to talk about who should be assisting whom, after he kept Remy afloat during her darkest years. Let's examine Pap's argument for support in more detail. She is not supported by the numbers, and when you start examining the finances, well, that's when things become complicated. Look at that, Remy. Since Remy is aware that Pap's financial situation is entirely different from Ma's, who is reported to be worth $4 million, and that the alimony payments will start to negatively impact her bank account right away. She has been delaying signing the divorce papers, despite never being as well known on reality TV as Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. Remy has been earning money through sponsorships and apparel lines for hip-hop and shows like Love. She has also been earning a consistent salary from record sales. You see, it's not everything. Remy's first album, which is based on genuine stories, was released in 2006. She had 4 nominations and 1 victory for Best Female Hip-Hop Artist at the BET Awards, demonstrating her ability to stay relevant despite her lack of celebrity. She appears to be the one who would have to pay now that she has the bigger bag, which is the real reason this divorce is taking so long. As she built her brand, made sacrifices, and provided for her family, Pap was by her side the entire time, because Remy does not want those monthly payments to be taken out of her account. And the courts will make sure that Pap gets what is due as soon as she releases him.
I want to thank God first and foremost. I've been through a lot. To everybody who think there's no such thing as second chances, I'm here to tell you that's a lie.
Let's be completely real here.
Still creating waves in the music industry and putting out mixtapes to keep her image alive. So, to be really honest, she wasn't just lying in a jail cell hoping that people would forget about her. However, you are aware of who it wasn't just love. You can be sure. A lot of work was done. Papoose put a lot of effort into ensuring that those mixtapes were not overlooked. He was responsible for making calls, negotiating contracts, promoting her songs, and upholding her image. Just consider this. Remy is extremely wealthy. Because a rapper's career may go wrong in 6 years. Her career might have ended. But it continued because Pap was acting like he was preserving the Remy Ma brand, promoting her mixtapes, and getting the right people to listen to them when she finally came out in 2014. This prevented her from having to start over because she returned home to a fan base that was already waiting for her. Why did that happen? Others contend that if anyone gets alimony, it was Remy because Pop held it down. He wasn't the only one who made sacrifices during their marriage. This is due to the fact that Pop worked equally as to make sure she didn't come home broke. You may be certain that the courts will consider all of that while negotiating money.
Papoose wanted to marry you.
No.
After you got sentenced, because you just knew he was, you just knew he was on it. And I thought that was like a real stand-up thing to do.
He's one of a kind. I could definitely.
Remy finally stepped out of those prison gates in 2014. She was not just going back to the real world. She was stepping into a whole new world of fame, and you know who was there to make sure her comeback was really legendary? What Papoose accomplished wasn't just to reignite their romance, they went straight to television. This was more than simply Remy's comeback. And VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York was the perfect venue for them to tell their narrative. Pap was an integral element of the narrative, not only a supporting character. Let's face it, those episodes were successful because of the chemistry, the highs and lows, and above all the fact that they weren't simply looking for Remy. Fans were drawn to them because of their love, problems, family life, and Pop's support of Remy during all of this. It's fascinating to see how they handled their lives after being released from prison, and guess who made sure the checks kept coming in? Based on their romance, Papoose was able to arrange spin-offs, multiple guest appearances, and an entire business. However, let's be honest, it's clear that the VH1 bags weren't just beneficial to Remy. People must have been hinting that Pap wasn't just a supporting actor and was as much of the star as she was when they said that Pap didn't contribute to those TV checks. The man was standing next to Remy.
No, besides the great performances, like it was like one small, tiny, itsy bitsy incident with Rye and one of Angie's friends, but it was nothing.
Trying to sweep someone in the row?
It was like one little fight. Nowhere near me.
Papoose, to make sure that everyone knew about Remy Ma's 2018 fashion line. The Remy Ma collection, which sought to convey a message rather than just sell clothes, since Remy was so committed to helping women and families affected by incarceration. A portion of the profits was contributed to this cause. Each collection had a meaning. But let's be honest, a clothes company requires real advertising to be successful. A good cause doesn't work on its own. He was actively promoting the brand rather than just observing Remy's actions. He was visible and working hard. And who did that? Pop? The menswear line made certain that it was visible and performed the type of task that major firms spend hundreds or even millions of dollars on: celebrity endorsements to get their products in front of consumers. Since Pap was already on that promotion, Remy didn't have to pay for it. But bear in mind that influencers are heavily compensated by marketers. More than just a silent admirer, Pap was instrumental in the background to guarantee Remy's brand grew, making sure the collection was the focal point of every appearance, interview, and event, and treating the business as though it were his own. People should give credit where credit is due when discussing how Remy acquired the bag, because Pap's fingerprints were all over a lot of that success.
Mr. Papoose, really the hip-hop's Hollywood couple right now. Y'all need your own show. That's what I
did for Jason Scott. Remy Ma's son is one instance of his loyalty. Remy's adolescent son was not left alone while she was incarcerated. Instead, Papoose took over, and Pap went above and beyond by caring for another man's son while his wife is incarcerated, rather than just stopping in occasionally as most men do, even though raising a child is a duty. The narrative then takes a terrible turn. Tragedy was found even after it was made public, and it was assumed that everything would get back to normal. Jason's family provided him with the stability that other kids in his circumstance do not. After Jason Scott was caught and charged with first-degree murder in 2021 for a shooting death in Queens, New York, there was nothing Pap could do to keep the child. The whole family was shaken by the case, and many were left wondering for years what went wrong. It's the right path, yet sometimes people still end up on the streets despite your best efforts to keep them loving and organized. This has to do with Jason's choices and Pap's sacrifices to keep him out of trouble throughout Remy's incarceration. Not only was he waiting for her, but he was also organizing everything she had left behind. That degree of dedication is impossible to measure.
All these years that Remy Ma and Papoose finally now call it quits. That man got sick of her. Like, ma'am, I sat here all this time and waited on you as a man. Because you know that's what women do. That's what women would wait on you. But man, after you got sentenced, matter of fact, before you even got sentenced, men move on. And they be having about 5, 6, 7, 10 women lined up for a week. But this man waited on you while you was lined up. They wouldn't let you out. And I'm talking about he got him a little thunder. Sis is young, pretty. She got her own thing going on, so it ain't like it's one of these little fans or nothing, baby. You up against something. Yeah. And you hurt. Now, you probably was the one in the relationship that was the abusive one. You probably was mental abuse. That man probably was real chill mode. You probably did him real dirty behind closed doors. And he stuck in the paint and stayed with you while you did him dirty. But now it's over with, baby. Karma is something else. Yeah, karma. Matter of fact, it ain't even karma. It's just that man know his worth and he leaving you where you stand at. Back there. Yeah, ain't no more us. Baby, take that ring off. Take it off, baby.
One obvious aspect of this acrimonious divorce is that Remy Ma's delay makes sense because, by signing the papers, she authorizes Pap to come and collect the alimony from Lalonde. I go on for Lalonde. Like, look at this, and we all know I've been exploring. When we all know I've been exploring that path. One obvious aspect of this acrimonious divorce is that Remy is Lalonde. MaySuzanne.com would be, why say? As we say Salon, she say I.K.